I'm Dr. Banko. I'm a chiropractor in Easton, Pennsylvania. And I'm here, I want to talk about the use of the QRS system and the MRS system. I've been using them around 4 years now. Personally, I use the QRS system. I started with the MRS after being involved with anti-aging medicine and reading about it. I wanted to try it for myself to see how effective it would be, and I was quite pleased with the results. After bringing it in the office, and for about a month or two, it got so popular that we had to bring in another one, which was the QRS. I treat a lot of athletic injuries, and one of the things I've noticed in treating the injuries that the athletes themselves have come back and requested to have the QRS done to them because they felt as though that seemed to be the one that made them feel better quicker. The MRS is a bulkier unit. It's hard to travel with. I can show you that the QRS is more flexible. You can roll it up and take it with you. Everything about it is ease, where the MRS is just very stiff. And from what I understanding, the coils in there are very rigid. Even the pad itself that we use is very stiff. So it makes it harder. The QRS has just been built to withstand a lot of stress. We use it 30, 40, 50 times a day in the office. One of the other reasons I like the QRS over the MRS system is that the MRS system only goes up to 25 Hertz, where the QRS system goes to 10,000 Hertz. It's also a double sawtooth signal. The other part about it is the cells have electromagnetic receptors. And it's the Q signal that seems to respond so greatly, like a lock and key system, so that when the cells respond to the QRS signal, it just seems to open them up and they just seem to respond much quicker than the MRS. What I like about the QRS system compared to the MRS, it's the athletes that come back to me. They're the ones who respond so well to the QRS. And in research, I found out that the QRS system is an E-function system. It's a signal that's specific to the QRS system, and that seems to be what gets these kids better. And what it does is it opens up the cell membrane so that the cell heals faster, and the results are dramatic. It's just hard to tell you how quickly these kids have healed. I've had a kid who came in with the major 2 ligament sprains of his ankle, grade 2. He had an MRI done. He was an all-state basketball player, first game. And after 4 days of using the QRS, he was able to play basketball again, where they were going to sit him for 4 weeks. So dramatic results. The orthopedic surgeon couldn't even believe that. What I like about the pen in the two systems is the QRS pen is when we engage the pen and we're going to use the pen, the athlete sees the light up and knows that something's being done. With the MRS, nothing happens. We can turn it on, set it to the pen, and when we turn it on, there's nothing that lights up, and the only sound is a little bit of buzzing that comes through. So for me, I like to have the fact that the patient's able to see something, that something's being done to their leg, ankle, knee, or wherever we're using it.
And how about effectiveness between the two pens? Have you noticed a difference?
Yes. Again, most of the athletes, it's the QRS pen that seems to work the best. It's the QRS hands down. I mean, that's what I use personally, and I know what it's done for me. I was going to give up my practice at one time, and now I'm have more energy than I ever had. So, and I use it twice a day, so I'm just a firm believer in using this. Well, just like I said earlier, the QRS signal is what changes. That's what gets people to heal faster. I know it from the standpoint that this QRS, I see these kids come in, I see the healing, how fast it occurs. It's because of that QRS. That's the one that makes the most change in my office, and I see a lot of athletes. We see 100 to 120 athletes a year, and a lot of them come in after they've been injured and just to come in to get changes done. They just want to come in and have it done because they know it feels good. It makes the tissue heal faster. Now, one of the other things I like about the QRS versus the MRS is we're not sure is something happening into the system. And when you look at the QRS, we actually see a light up when we know that we're actually getting some electricity into the coils of the pad. So it's foolproof. And that's probably one of the most important things. So even when the girls set up a patient, once they set the unit on, they know it's working. With the MRS, there's nothing. There's no light, no signal, no nothing. We have to rely on the machine itself telling us that there is power going to the pad or the probe. One of the things I noticed is that we have 15 inches of snow here, which we've run out of power for 4 days now, and we're not going to get it back for another 4 days. And one of the things I truly noticed is the difference in how I felt without using the QRS. It's been 4 days. Today was the first day I used it, and for the 3 days I didn't do it. I could not believe the difference in the way I felt. Today I used it and I was so energized. It's just amazing. So I know it works.